we'll go ahead and get going. Welcome to the Tuesday, January 7th, 2025 Board of Supervisors meeting. Call to order. Any conflict of interest, guys?
None.
Okay. Approval of agenda. Any changes, Taryn?
No changes.
Motion approved.
Motion approved. Charlie?
Second.
Second by Mike. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Approval of minutes from the last meeting. Any changes?
No changes.
No changes.
Good to me. I'll take a motion to approve.
Motion
Second.
from Mike, second from Charlie. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Back to 1,000 for your career.
Yeah,
Claims, everybody have a chance?
there was no claims.
There were no claims.
Nope.
Okay, no claims, we don't have to vote on that.
Morning.
Todd walking in?
Just heard him.
Yep. Traded.
Come on up, Todd. All right.
Way ahead of you this morning.
We started that 30 seconds ago.
Yeah, 30 seconds.
Threw everything off.
Burned us.
How's everybody?
Good. How are you?
How are you? Good. So we just have a few items today, starting with a thank you to Shelby County. We ran our Shop and Win promotion in December, and that's a program that we started back during COVID to try to just, encourage people to go in and shop. And with chamber member businesses, and then as people go in and make purchases, for every $25 they spend, they get a raffle ticket. And then at the end, we draw for winners. And so based on the number of tickets distributed, we had over $126,500 spent with those businesses during the month of December. So that was
good.
Yeah, so we're very happy with how that went. Another item to note, Shelby County Extension and Outreach is offering a Women in Ag, Women Marketing Grain program. And they're offering it on the 9th, the 16th, and the 23rd of January here. It's $100 for people to register, but it's a great program. It teaches them how to, market their grain, whether it's soy or corn, and make the most profit they can. As we all know, we need CDL drivers here in Shelby County, so Iowa Western has 2 CDL programs going on right now. They have a Class A CDL, and it's a 4-week class from January 13th through February 6th. And it runs Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 8 to 4. The tuition on that one is $4,700, and people can register online. But they're also offering a Class B CDL, and we need those also. And that's another 4-week class running the same dates, January 13th through February 6th, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And that runs from 8 to 4. Also, now that we have the new year, we have legislative coffees coming up with so the first legislative coffee will be January 18th. It'll be from 10 to 11, and it's being hosted by Milk and Honey. So we're gonna just hold it there in their party room at their location. We do have a blood drive coming up on Monday, January 20th from 8 to 2. That'll be at Mertu's Oval Room. And people can give Ruth a call at 755-4316 to set an appointment, but you can also just walk in. And then finally, Saturday, February 1st is the Shelby County Cattlemen's Annual Banquet. This year it's going to be at St. Mary's Hall in Panama. And the doors open at 4:30. Cost is $20 per person. You can either get it from a board member or you can just pick up tickets when you arrive.
Who's going to be at the legislative?
All 3 representatives, so yeah. And we have a new representative down in the basically southeast portion, like Elkhorn. And then we have Steve and Jason, so yeah. So we'll be good.
Very good.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Todd.
Yep.
Chris.
Morning.
Morning, Chris.
How is it, Ron?
Very good. How are you?
Good. Fine. I don't have a whole lot to tell you this morning.
That's a good thing.
As we know, it did snow, so the snow plows have been out and the maintainers are also out. The maintainers are out today again. We're still trying to just touch up, clean up. I know the northern part of the county had a little extra snow, so they're trying to wing off the shoulders or further out and just maybe that sun will start to work in on the road and break up some of that snow rather than losing the rocks. So extended forecast looks good again. Sun and a little more moderate again, so hopefully we won't have to go out and
Yeah.
maybe we can be done with the snow for the year.
There you go. That'd be great.
That's what I'm hoping. The excavators did get froze out with the ground and the cold, so we are hauling and stockpiling some riprap from different people throughout the county that had concrete they wanted to get rid of, which helps us out a lot for any projects we might have and saves us money there. So trying to get that picked up, and then also hopefully we will start brushing soon. Trying to get some trees gone and some ditches cleared. So hopefully within the foreseeable future we can get going on that. But other than that, winter's here, and just ask everybody to be a little more patient and cautious on the roadways.
Let's give an Angel a hard time for inspecting the ditches.
Yeah, luckily everybody's safe, so
That's right.
it happens. But any questions, or that's all I've got?
Thank you.
All right,
No news is good news.
that's right.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you.
Okay, supervisor committee reports. Probably don't have any
Haven't
yet.
had
You
any
haven't been to one?
Nope.
I've got a couple. Southwest Iowa Juvenile Detention Center, we're working on the budget. And Conservation Board is working in the Nature Center to make the turtle tank more, just a nicer display. Yeah, different filters, different cabinets, and I think everybody will enjoy it when it gets done. Curtis is very good woodworker, so. And they're also doing tree removal, so. Anything else on that? All right, department heads, I see Geraldine out there.
Good morning.
Morning.
Morning. How are you? It's a fine day.
Well, I am just great
Good.
so far. It's early. Okay.
Thank you.
This is my quarterly report ending December, and I have what we did for the quarter in the first column. The second column is what we did a year ago, the same period. So we just kind of combine, or just kind of compare the two. We're almost even for last quarter. So we had a very busy December as far as recording documents and then renewing the recreational vehicles. They were all due by December 31st. So we had a really busy December, which was good. Other than that, we are now renewing boats. They are not due until April 30th, but we can renew from now, and then they're renewed for 3 years. So we did send out postcards reminding everyone that it's time to renew those. And they can do it by mail, or they can come in the office and renew that way. The other recreational vehicles, ATVs, ORVs, those were due December 31st, so they can still renew those. However, now there's a $5 penalty on those, but they can still renew those.
Shouldn't miss those cards in the mail there. What are they, bright green?
Bright green.
Yeah, I got like 5 of them yesterday.
Yep, we try to make it so that you can see them. Let's see, what else? Oh, and the non-resident hunting and fishing and the resident hunting and fishing license expired January 10th. So you'll need to renew those for the next year after January 10th or before January 10th. Shotgun season is over. And we're now into late muzzleloader and bow, and that goes until January 10th also. And then just a little bit about our modernization fee. I don't know if, Mike, if you know anything about this. So the Recorders Association is presenting legislation to increase recording fees. They've not been increased for 40 years. So we decided it was time to we do that, and then try to get all 99 counties to, do everything kind of the same way. We're going for a $10 page fee. Right now, it's like $5 for the first page, and then an extra $2 on top of that, and then $5 for every additional page, and then there's an auditor's transfer fee. And so it's very confusing for everybody to try to figure out what to do. So we're trying to make it very simple, just do $10 per page, and then, make it easy for everybody who's trying to figure out the fees. We do have it in a bill now for legislation, so we're hoping that that can pass. I did go ahead and send all the information to like the bankers and the attorneys here, and who else? The realtors and all the interested stakeholders. I don't know if did I send you guys any more information on that? I will get some stuff sent out to you too, so you can kind of see what we're going for.
So that kind of gets probably scattered through several of these areas, right?
It
Copies and
mainly will
mortgages.
just go towards, like on here it'd be deeds, mortgages, releases,
Yeah.
assignments, that sort of
So
thing.
that's what
Any
between those.
document that we record, any legal document we record. So anything that has to do with a real estate transaction, that's what it would go towards. So
So in these numbers, there's probably other fees besides that fee in there, is that right? So what kind of impact will that have in your office for revenue?
it should have,
Estimate
it,
5,000?
I can't really tell you
10,000.
as far as a number, but it will definitely help. Out of that $10, we will take part of that money and goes to Iowa Land Iowa Land Records, and they're the ones that have the statewide system. And so some of that goes there to help support that. Part of it goes into my records management fund, which I then can use that. Right now I'm using it to pay fees like to Iowa Land Records, but I can use it for restoring books, even though we're not writing in the books anymore, but restoring those so that they don't fall apart. It can go towards, we did do a scanning project a couple of years ago that we paid monthly for to have that hosted, and I can pay that. So different things, but it should definitely help the county with, extra money in the recording area of it. So, but I'll get you guys some more information on that too, so you can kind of read through it and see what's going on. Any questions?
Covered it well.
Appreciate the info.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thanks, Gerald.
Next up, Brent Shelby.
Have a good day.
How's Brent?
Okay, you?
Good so far.
Must be way better than last year. We always try to put together kind of a two-page summary, obviously very high level, and it's intended to be. Any detail specifics we've always talked about during, after, et cetera. That's kind of why we intentionally did it at this first meeting in January, in case there's something very specific that you want us to come back and address. Reminder, I know some of you guys know this in detail, some you may never heard of this at all before, et cetera. Just giving you a little history on insurance for the county, ICAP in general, the programs, counties, municipalities in Iowa, et cetera, et cetera. To make a really long story short, to not give you a whole dissertation, back in the 80s, cities and counties weren't going to be able to get insurance at all, like literally not. ICAP, this program was created back then, pooling counties, so it's Iowa Community Assurances Pool. It is a statewide pool that you join into, so there's some nuances to that I'll talk through here in a minute. Allowed counties and cities to secure insurance. After a few-year run in the 80s, things kind of normalized a little bit, and generally speaking, the program has ran relatively smoothly for 35, 40 years. The last 2 or 3 years with all the weather, no different than everybody's homeowners and business and all the above, ICAP too obviously has experienced a lot of rate and changes, et cetera, et cetera. But it's a reminder as to why ICAP was created.
mean, we've had, depending on if you include or don't include a county mutual or not, I'm gonna not for simplicity, we've had 5 carriers totally exit the state of Iowa in home and auto. So they just said, hey, starting January 1st or June 1st, depending on the carrier, canceling everybody, totally leaving the state. So, you know, for the however many years, like 20 years I've been doing this, it's never even happened. And we go back to the 80s when stuff like that happens. The beauty of that is ICAP, I'll say, for lack of better terms, like member owned. So it's all the members in. So there's not this big insurance company that people hate that's making tons of profits and it's, oh, the big bad insurance company. It's a pooled membership group. So they have counties and cities and municipalities that sit on their board, make the decisions, you know, all of those things from a positive standpoint. So there's times like last year where it's like, holy cow, our insurance went up. We need to bid it. And it's like, you're in one of the best situations you can be to protect that long term. Now, are there some downsides and nuances to that? Yes. The most simple and common is if you said, hey, we do want to leave, you take your claims with you. So if it's harder to leave, and they designed it that way back 40 years ago because they said, hey, we can't have people jumping in and out. We have to have stability of the pool. So have we had counties and cities leave before? Yes. But you have to be in a pretty darn good spot where you have no pending claims like the pipeline stuff or an ongoing employment issue or a liability claim in order to leave. So they've designed it that way to keep stability. Doesn't mean it's impossible. We've looked at it in the past. It's been 12, 15 years ago. Just kind of wanting to give you some general history. So there are, I'll say, 2 main riders of counties and cities in the state of Iowa, ICAP, and then EMC has a program. They actually write the city that we write for them. So it's the IAMU program. It's endorsed by EMC. The good thing about that is it gives you both a really good guide. Gives the city a guide when we talk about the county, and gives the county a guide when we talk about the city. For example, the wind hail deductible that we dealt with, EMC and the city had a very similar one. It's challenging. So it's not like, oh, ICAP's doing all these crazy things that nobody else does. We've got a good gauge as to who does what. In other states, there are other carriers because they don't maybe have a pool or a program. Travelers is one that comes to mind, Continental Western. They would write a county. They just don't write near as many in Iowa because these 2 programs exist and they've done really, really well. The EMC program, I'll say, is similar but different from the standpoint of it's an insurance company, but they agreed to a program with IMU where they cap profits. So anything excess of like a 5% profit is returned to a dividend. The county program, which we haven't seen for a couple of years, is what's called a CRF, a cumulative reserve fund, where you get basically a credit back also. So if they have good years and weather calms down and we don't have as many claims, the counties will get basically not a kickback, but a refund. So that's part of being in a pool is, hey, we didn't have claims and we've had a good 5-year run. Man, we haven't had a lot of claims. They will send you money back. You basically get a refund on that. So again, that's the big advantage. You're never going to get that on your home insurance. If storms calm down, you know, your home insurance company, your auto isn't going to send you a refund in the mail. These pools and these programs do. So that's totally different than any other business or personal policy with an insurance carrier. So that's why that's stability. And when it goes up, it's, hey, everybody's is up. And when you get credit back, everybody's credit is back. So that's kind of my history lesson for today. So we'll dive into the details. So I always start with property on the first page. You see that blanket building in BPP. The only reason that's down is sold building. The annex building was probably the main thing there, and we've increased them in the past to account for inflation and building materials. So those 2 are what's called blanketed together. So it doesn't matter if a building on our blanket list was listed for $1 million and it burned to the ground, it was really 1.2, you'd still get 1.2. That's why we blanket. The fine arts is like the statues around the county courthouse, for example. Then miscellaneous scheduled and unscheduled property, there's a whole list, and that's like all your road equipment and the excavators and anything like that that's not an auto, those types of things. We have a list. We send that list out annually. About every 3 years, I really push, and I did last year, to where I said, I'm not gonna stop bugging you until somebody claims every piece, every auto and every item. And we ended up finding like 2 autos and 4, I'll just call them skid loaders. So it was like, nobody owns these anymore. We don't even know who they are. So we removed them. Whereas in the past, which is what I'll do this year, is, hey, review the list. More so, did you buy something or forget to tell us? It's not on there. But again, in a few more years, I'll be like, hey, Bryce, road department, you've got to tell me, I put a name on an Excel sheet. If I have one missing, then it's, hey, nobody has claimed this. Does the county still own it? So that we don't have something, because we got lots of departments that could easily happen. So we just did that last year, just so you know. Again, we'll still send it out, but it'll be a little more gentle than just kind of a simple review. The deductible you'll see is $1,000 except the wind hail. I will go through that because we did last year, so it's not quite as earth-shattering and new, et cetera, et cetera. The wind hail deductible is 2% again, and it was last year. The provisions around it were a little hokey last year, to be frank. They've simplified it this year, which is much nicer. When you have a percentage deductible, which a lot of carriers have gone to now in the last 5 years, it's of your building limit. So if you have $1 million building and that building has a wind hail claim, it's 2% of that $1 million is your deductible. Not a flat deductible amount. So that building would have a $20,000 deductible. Okay? In the past, and with most programs